I'd like to call the meeting of the Plainville Board of Education for May 10th, 2021 to order, and begin with a Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm going to ask Mr. Davenport if he would lead us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. And we're going right into special presentations. Let's see if I can speak. And I'm going to let the superintendent take it away.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. It's really great to see all of your faces here, even though we're all masked. It's really nice to have you here as we celebrate some outstanding achievements from within this room. In the past, we have brought in at the May Board of Education meeting, we brought in the Valedictorian and Salutatorian for recognition for their top 2 spots in the class, and we are certainly going to do that first. We're also recognizing the top 10% of students in the class, which is 16 students from this class. They're typically recognized at the Night of Excellence, and that will happen again. But your accomplishments and achievements as students are absolutely noteworthy, and we wanted to bring you all in with your parents and congratulate you on all the hard work and perseverance and everything that you've done to achieve success in multiple levels as a student here at Plainville High School. So first, we'll start out with our valedictorian, Kayla Wiz. I'm going to read a little bit about the valedictorian and salutatorian and their achievements during their time at PHS. Kayla has had an exceptional academic career at PHS. As valedictorian, she has the highest cumulative GPA of her 167 fellow classmates. She received gold honor roll status every quarter while at PHS. She has continually challenged herself with some of the most rigorous and challenging courses at PHS. She will have taken 9 AP or ECE courses when she graduates. She will have earned 28.55 credits while at PHS, almost a full year's worth beyond the graduation requirement. She is a member of the National Honor Society, Math National Honor Society, Spanish National Honor Society, and Science National Honor Society. Last year, she was a recipient of a Certificate of Merit from the Society of Women Engineers. This year, she was selected as the female recipient of the CIAC Scholar Athlete Award. She has played softball at PHS for all 4 years and has been selected for the CCC All Academic Team Award team every year. This year, she was honored by being selected as one of the captains for the season. She has also served as a volunteer coach for her travel softball team. She plans to attend the University of Connecticut in the fall and major in finance and actuarial science. Congratulations to Kayla Wiz, valedictorian to the class of 2021. Next, we have our board liaison, student liaison, or one of them, Catherine Guarco. Catherine has joined all of our meetings remotely. It's nice to see you in person and to honor you tonight as salutatorian to the class of 2021. Catherine has had an extraordinary academic career while a student at PHS. As salutatorian, she had the second highest cumulative GPA of her 167 classmates. She received the gold honor roll for every quarter during her time at PHS. She's continually challenged herself with some of our most rigorous courses at PHS during her time here. She has taken 8 AP or ECE courses. She will have earned 33.45 credits when she graduates this year, a full year's worth beyond the required credits for graduation. She's a member of the National Honor Society, Math National Honor Society, Spanish National Honor Society, and Science National Honor Society. It's a lot of honor societies. I should have just said all the subject areas and then honor society, right? That would have been easy. She was selected as one of the recipients of this year's Connecticut Association of Boards of Education's Student Leadership Award. Catherine has also been actively involved outside of the classroom at PHS. She has been a member of the concert band, jazz band for the past 4 years. She has volunteered at the Plainville Pumpkin Festival for multiple years. She's also volunteered at St. Matthew's Church and during PHS Parent Advisory Council fundraisers. She has also served as the Plainville Community Schools Student Board of Education representative for the past 2 years. She plans to attend the University of Connecticut in the fall and major in mathematics education, and we hope to see you back here looking for a position in about 4.5 years. Congratulations, Catherine. Okay, now I'm going to announce the top 10% of students in the class of 2021. I can't believe it's 2021 already, but it sure is. I'll do them alphabetically, and I won't be announcing what number in the class. I think all of you know what number you are, but to be in the top 10% of students in this class is a true achievement. And I congratulate all of you on the hard work, and I know if we read a bio for each of you, that there would be many outstanding and incredible achievements by all of you, because to be in the top 10% of your class, I know it takes a great deal of commitment, perseverance, and I guarantee that I can see athletes in here, I can see musicians, I can see students who have volunteered at multiple events and activities. So typically, you're working hard in all facets of your education. So congratulations to all of you. Top 10% of students in the class of 2021, Christopher Brojek. I hope I said that correct. Christopher. You can come on up and get a certificate. I may have to do this a different way. I'm going to go back to, hold on, I can tell you where. I'm just trying to keep the suspense going here for everyone else. Congratulations, Christopher. Congratulations. I'm just going to go in order. All right, so the list on my paper is alphabetical, and the awards are in order of rank. So what I'm going to do is just go back to the order of rank and enjoy. So Kayla, you get another award. Come on up. Kayla Wiz. Catherine Guarco. You want me to call it? Courtney Ouellette. Caitlin Gagnon. Marcelina Halas, I hope I said that right. Halas. Thank you. Congratulations. Alec Couture. Valerie Simino. Paige Levesque. Alexandra Doobie. Oh, all right. Sorry. Annie Rue. Joseph Michalik. Emma Luco. Andrew Simula. Corey Jones. And Tanner Rao. And that's our top 10% of our class of 2021. A round of applause for all of them. Okay, next on our agenda, we have our CABE Student Leadership Award. The CABE Student Leadership Award program is designed to honor Connecticut high school and middle school students who exhibit exemplary leadership skills. 2 students from each school in a CABE member district are eligible to receive the CABE Student Leadership Award. Principals are to ask their staff for nominations and select students who exhibit leadership skills that include willingness to take on challenges, capability to make difficult decisions, concern for others, ability to work with others, willingness to commit to a project, diplomacy, ability to understand issues clearly, ability to honor a commitment. All important qualities. This year's recipients are Catherine Guarco and Kayla Wiz. Oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. My paper was wrong. Catherine Guarco and Corey Jones. I think I write too many emails. I messed up my print there. I could just, never mind. All right, the Connecticut Association of Schools High School Arts Award is our next award. Schools are invited to select 2 outstanding seniors who excel in any of the performing and/or visual arts programs offered by their school. Outstanding ability in the performing and visual arts, scholarship, and leadership are of primary importance to the school in making the selection. Students are nominated by the Fine Art and Music Department teachers at PHS. This year's recipients are Kyle Badorick, and Jeremy Buckley. Kyle is for performing arts and Jeremy is for visual arts. And the last award for our high school students here, and then you only have to sit through the next hour or so of the meeting. Don't worry, no, I'm just kidding. You get to leave after this. The Connecticut Intrascholastic Athletic Conference Scholar Athlete Award. The Scholar Athlete Program annually recognizes 2 high school seniors for each member high school whose academic and athletic careers have been exemplary, whose personal standards and achievements are a model to others, and who possess high levels of integrity, self-discipline, and courage. The recipients this year are Kayla Wiz and Joseph Michalek. And that concludes our recognition for our high school students. In order to make room for our VEX Robotics and our Go Kid Go recipients from our middle school, I'm going to invite you all to feel free to head home if you'd like to. You can stay if you want. But thank you very much for coming tonight and honoring your students. You've done a great job as parents. Congratulations. Nice to see you. How's everything going well?
That's good.
Good. Good. What's that? Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
such a weird year.
Yes. I can't stop you. The middle school coming in?
Don't worry, I left my car keys here. I can't.
Oh, no. All right. Sorry, there's so many recognitions tonight. Ms. Westfall, I may need your help with making sure I have the right recognitions for the right people, so please feel free to come over, since Ms. Westfall has been a huge proponent of the VEX programs and support of the Go Kid Go and everything else with the Unified Arts, and just using her skills and many different talents, supporting our students in all the different competitions across the state, across New England, nationals, worlds, every stage, so, and finding success year after year. So we're here tonight to recognize a number of our students who were successful in recent competitions, and some are going on to the world competitions. We have two teams going to the worlds, correct?
So for the VEX
Come on
IQ,
up.
2 teams going to National VEX IQ.
2 teams going to National VEX IQ. All right. So 2 of the 5 MSP VEX robotics teams qualified for the virtual VEX Worlds is what I had. And then given everything our students, and this was from Ms. Westfall, given everything our kids and staff have endured this year and still overcoming the challenges to continue to learn and compete on such a high level, actually this is for me, the board is going to be covering the cost of both teams, the registration for the world competition. In the past, we've covered one, and we had 2 teams make it this year, so what Ms. Westfall asked nicely, and I said, I don't see how we can say no to this awesome group who's done so much to persevere. So congratulations on that. Now, so Nathan is,
So the 2 teams are so the 2 teams that made it to VEX IQ Worlds, come forward a little bit. All right, so Nate Cranston.
okay, that's who I had. Nathan Cranston. Jacob Boucher. Is that right? Michael Daniel. Owen Clark. So congratulations to the four of you. So they're the two teams going to, oh, there's more.
Who goes next?
I had this separated, so.
And so there's we also do Technology Student Association that has a VEX component. Like normally there's other things we do like race CO2 cars and have problem-solving activities, things like that. But because of COVID, we couldn't do that. The only part of that we could do is the VEX IQ part. So these teams also competed in the VEX IQ part, and it was Connecticut, New York, Rhode Island, and one other New England state that I can't remember right now. And so out of the top 3 places that would, if it was in person, we would have been able to go to Tennessee for, the middle school of Plainville, we won all 3 spots for that, for TSA VEX. So that starts this round here.
And that's what I had for my notes here. I'm sorry, there's so many recognitions coming from the middle school Miss Westfall's programs that, I got them all clustered together. But I had, at the New England TSA competition, right, that was on May 4th, Plainville VEX Robotics teams won the top 3 TSA VEX IQ spots. So Josh Carlina. Now Josh Paige Weimer and Iman Bilal came in first place with a high score of 71. That's awesome. Paige?
They actually had the high score of this team right here.
That's what I had, 71, right? And then, Iman, congratulations. Great job. Then the second highest score of 70, just 1 point below the high team there, was Michael Daniel and Owen Clark. Congratulations. And then coming in third place and wrapping up the top 3, of course, Plainville, Jacob Boucher and Nate Cranston. Congratulations.
So a wonderful picture opportunity awaits those VEX parents in the hallway.
Right, we have the photo op set up out there. And if the VEX parents want to leave, you're welcome to. You don't have to stay for the whole board meeting. Thanks for everybody for coming. We're going to celebrate our Go Kid Go program next and our student recipients tonight. And then that'll end our special recognitions. I think we should just do special recognitions for the whole board meeting. It's a lot more fun. So, if you attended the Bitmoji Superintendent District Showcase, you learned a lot about Go Kid Go program and all the work that's been done over the years to build that program from Go Baby Go to Go Kid Go, and all the many great things that they do with retrofitting the adaptive vehicles for children with disabilities so they can drive their own, operate their own little vehicle. I've seen that work in action. It's tremendously exciting. And then the different projects that have been collaborated with. This one was through the School Business Community Partnerships Program. They did a needs assessment, so thanks to Lynn Davis and Sue Bradley for their incredible work with the SBC. The School District Special Services Department, led by Vicki Trzynski and Christina Kiley, identified the need for several custom steps and benches to support preschoolers and our youngest students with mobility issues across the district. To be most effective and helpful to students, these items needed to be customized and extremely expensive to purchase. As such, the classrooms in need had a minimal number of generic items available to use, which had to be shared among schools. The Go Kid Go team, led once again by middle school faculty member Camille Westfall and district physical therapist Cheryl Hart, collaborated to design the items in need, which were then constructed by Ms. Westfall and her technology education students who are here tonight. So I would like to congratulate all the students. Mr. Lewandowski and I got to take an opportunity to stop by and visit the workshop and see some of the work in progress. We caught you on a lunch break, though, so we didn't get to see you actually working. I think it was a pizza celebration that day. But we saw the outcomes of your work, and some of it was in process. And then we saw the final product and the nice pictures from Teflon when they were delivered. And just amazing, all the pictures in the Bitmoji showcase of all your work in actions and the kids who are using them. So I'm going to bring up all the students who were involved, and congratulations to all of you, and thank you for your service to the community. Kara Ahern. Delilah Cretella. Don Davidson. It's okay. Sarah Diaz. Dylan Haas. Anakin Harrington. Evelyn Jimenez. And Olivia Rossi. That concludes our special presentations for this evening. Thank you very much to all of our students and families for coming out to participate, and thank you to Ms. Westfall.
And thank you for all your support.
Oh,
Really
you're very welcome. I wish I could judge your time. Thank you, Ms. Westfall. And you're all free to leave.
They're all free to leave. Good to go. Thank you very much, Mr. LePage, for giving out all those awards. Really appreciate that. And that brings us to the approval of minutes, for which we have, I don't know, what's that, 3, 4, 5 sets. So if somebody wants to do them as a group, that's fine with me, or individually. Do I hear a motion?
Madam Chairman, I move that we request the approval of the following minutes. The minutes of the April 19th regular business meeting of the Plainville Board of Education. The minutes of the April 21st special meeting of the Board of Education. Approve the minutes of the April 26th meeting of the Board of Education. Also approve the minutes of the May 3rd special meeting of the Board of Education, the Curriculum Subcommittee meeting. And finally, approval of the May 4th, 2021 special meeting of the Board of Education, the Policy Subcommittee.
All right. Is there a second? Second, Ms. Debbie Hardy. Any corrections or questions on any of these minutes? All right, hearing none, I'm going to call for a vote. Please say aye if you approve.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you very much. Looks unanimous. That takes us to citizens' comments. Let me see. Are there any citizens that would like to speak to the Board of Education? You can come to the podium and give your name and address. Any citizens? I don't know that we have citizens in here. I mean, we do have citizens, but obviously they're all outside now. So that brings us to our council liaison. Ms. Puglisi, you are here in the flesh. So you can come and talk to us in person. That's been a while, right?
Good evening. My apologies for not having been here in several months, but oftentimes our schedules were conflicting and meetings changed and we had budget work sessions. So I'm happy to be back here at least one more time before the end of the school year. So I will hope to make it in the June meeting, but one never knows. So I will report on our last meeting. We had a lot of interesting things that have happened recently with the council. You may be aware of some, but others not so much. So I'm just going to go over a few highlights. Some of them are very interesting financial developments that occurred over the past few months with the town, and I think you'll be happy to hear about them. along with some other issues that we've been looking at. So first of all, the town council had invited Patrick McMahon to talk to us about Connecticut Main Street Center. The Main Street Center is a group, an organization that will be able to advise us on how to improve, develop, and encourage traffic into our Main Street area. There's some development that will be coming up in the future, and hopefully Mr. McMahon and his organization will be able to give us some ideas about, for example, grant application for certain things, revitalizing for businesses in the Main Street area. So he has a lot of ideas, and we're going to be hearing probably more from him as time goes on. Most recently, we spoke to Courtney Hewitt, who is our recreation director, specifically about the plans for opening of the Norton Park pool. As you know, last year, the COVID restrictions were fairly significant in terms of access to the Norton Park pool. And this year, we're trying to make the access a little bit more available for families and folks in Plainville. At this point in time, because of the size of the pool and the size of the decks, they can only allow 50 people at a time at the pool area. Last year, they had a system of signing up ahead of time and acquiring a pool pass, and that became a little bit, it worked okay, but it certainly wasn't working to the level that Courtney or even some of the residents would have liked. So this year, we're going to do things a little bit differently. There will be 3 sessions at the pool. The tickets will be sold on a daily basis for $2 per person for a resident. It will be on a first-come, first-served basis. So folks can show up at the pool. The first 50 people will get in. They'll, of course, have to provide identification that they're a Plainville resident until the capacity is reached. So it's not perfect, but it is allowing more folks more opportunity to use the pool. In addition to that, the council also suggested that residents will be able to bring in 2 guests that are not Plainville residents. That was not permitted last year, but the council felt that they'd like to be able to encourage folks that perhaps may have childcare people during the summer that are not Plainville residents. They would be able to come and pay a different fee, but nonetheless, they'll still be able to participate. And so I think what this is going to do is open the pool up for more use. It'll be easier for the staff. It'll give more flexibility for residents that want to use the pool. And hopefully we'll have a great season so that the pool will be used a lot. So as you can tell, we're still going through. We still have to adhere to state health department guidelines in terms of these things, but I think this is going to be an improvement that a lot of people are going to enjoy. So that was a big point of discussion for the council at our last meeting. We also heard from the town manager and the police department that last summer the Plainville Reform Bill was signed into law in Connecticut. What this is the law requires that all police departments in the state have to have body and in-dash cameras by July 1st, 2022. The Plainville Police Department has had in-dash cameras for the past several years, but now we are going to be required to have body cameras as well. Before Chief Catania passed away, he was in the process of putting together a program so that Plainville could get on board with this process. Currently, Lieutenant Peterson and Lieutenant Mullins are continuing that effort, and the town council voted to enter into a managed care plan, which would save approximately $26,000 over a 5-year period. So we are moving forward. We approved it now because as this deadline starts to approach, the availability and the turnaround time for these equipments probably be much more extended. So we're going to go ahead and try to get into the front of the line, if you will, so that our police department can get what they need to take care of that. Also, in regard to Plainville's financial rating, on April 22nd, Standard & Poor reaffirmed Plainville's bond rating of AA+. This is 1 notch lower than a AAA rating, which is the highest rating any town can achieve. They also stated the financial outlook for Plainville is stable. They noted that Plainville reflects a strong, growing residential and commercial base, and lending further stability to the ratings and the outlook are Plainville's very strong liquidity and stable revenue mix, with a predominant revenue stream, as you probably know this, of property taxes, with collections remaining very strong. Typically, our property tax collection rate is around the 98 to 100% rate, so we have always done quite well in that regard. They also noted Plainville has a strong management with good financial policies and practices and strong budgetary performance. So all of these things that Standard & Poor looks at is a very impartial review of our financial operation in town. And this also helps with us when we want to go out and borrow. For example, when we bonded for the Wheeler School project, when we bond for our road projects. All of these ratings are very beneficial because it helps us with our rate that we're going to pay. So having said that, Plainville recently went out to borrow general obligation bonds for our sewer fund to repay a remaining loan. So the rate at the time we went out was 2%, and the rate we acquired was 0.69%, which is really quite good. What this means is that overall, the savings for the rest of the project, it does not extend the term of the loan, it just creates greater savings for the town. Overall, the savings of the sewer fund should be $521,757. In fiscal year 21 through 23, the impacts are going to be, for example, fiscal year 22, it will be a savings of $31,606. Following year it would be $43,000, the following year it would be $46,000, and so forth. So we have done some interesting things to try and cost avoid some of these long-term debts. We've been able to do that because of our, as I said, our S&P rating was extraordinary, and a lot of other items that we've been doing in order to try and keep Plainville on a very stable financial footing. So we're happy about that. And just to remind you that the sewer fund is a separate fund from our general fund. It's not part of our regular tax base. It's designed for the sewer rate payers to pay the debt on that operation. So it is separate, but nonetheless, this is an obligation that everybody that pays a sewer bill has to pay. So it will be good news in the long run. We'll be able to look at our rate schedule and be able to adjust it as we go along just to make that happen. A couple of other things, we're going to have a public hearing on a burning ordinance. Our open burning ordinance has to be updated per our fire marshal, so that will be happening. And every year, regarding our auditor, the town council is required to appoint a firm to conduct the annual audit, and for many years, the town council has appointed Bloom Shapiro of West Hartford. Last December, Bloom Shapiro announced they were joining the national professional services firm of Clifton, Larson, and Allen. So going forward, the Bloom Shapiro team will continue to serve the town of Plainville. However, they will further be known as Clifton, Larson, Allen, LLP, and they will be going ahead and performing those audits for us. It's the same people, but under a new name. And one final item, which I thought you might be interested in, this is a press release that should be coming out probably in the next week or so. The town of Plainville recently completed a sidewalk condition assessment on 64 miles of walkways in town. It was requested by the town council 2 years ago to implement a sidewalk improvement plan in the town. That had not been done. We certainly are taking care of our roads, but our sidewalks, there's some areas that really need some attention. And in order to do this, we had to get a general overview of our sidewalks. And last year, the town council authorized a contract with Street Scan to utilize Street Scan carts to conduct the sidewalk assessment. The carts were outfitted with 2D and 3D cameras. And what happened with this whole process is every sidewalk in Plainville was scanned, which is kind of interesting. We got to see a 3D actual video of all the sidewalks. You can go onto a map and click on certain intersections, and you will see an actual video, and you can look at the condition of all the sidewalks. So in doing so, all of the sidewalks that we scanned were given a scale from 0, which would be the worst, to 100, which is the best. And interestingly enough, The average scan of all the sidewalks in Plainville is 81, which is not too bad. There are some areas, however, that aren't so great. There's about 3 miles worth of sidewalks that are rated in serious or very poor condition. So at this time, what we've done is we've identified Laurel Street, which is over here by the high school. That seems to be among the worst, and that's going to be selected as the first sidewalk. We're going to go ahead, we put money in our capital fund, and we're going to be replacing that sidewalk, Laurel Court rather, I shouldn't have said Laurel Street, and part of Tomlinson Avenue near the high school will also be done. There are some other areas in town up in the northwest section of Plainville which are also in fairly poor condition. So as we move along over the next several years, we'll continue to coordinate with this program that we have to determine what will be the next sidewalk. So we're quite excited about this because for years and years, the sidewalk funding was taken either reduced or completely eliminated from the capital program. But I think it's time, and the council agreed, that we need to take care of those sidewalks, particularly if they're near schools or areas that there's a lot of heavy foot traffic. We were concerned about that. So we're happy about that. So that's a new program you're going to probably be reading about. Press release went out last week, so it'll be hitting the newspapers pretty soon. I know that was a lot, but that's all I have for tonight. I'll be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any for me.
Any questions for Ms. Puglisi?
Okay, thank you very much.
We thank you. It was good to see you. I know the last meeting we had a conflict.
Lots of good news there.
Yeah. So,
Thanks.
thank you. Thank you so much for coming out and giving us all that information. All right. So that gets us over to the superintendent's report again. So Mr. LePage, you can.
Thank you. And just to follow up on the pool situation that you mentioned, Chairwoman Puglisi, I did meet with Robert Lee and Courtney and Ben Delina, along with Chris Farrell, just to look at the potential of using the high school pool over the summer months for some of the programs that would take some of the the traffic away from that pool at Norton. And we were able to work out an agreement that the Parks and Rec will be able to use the high school pool. We're looking at 3 days per week for three sessions, so it looks like 9 sessions per week. They'll be used to pool, and due to the high efficiency heater that we purchased and not having to really heat the water much in the summer because it stays pretty warm, we had Mike Dixon at the meeting also from our facilities department to assess what the cost would be, and it looks like it's going to be a very minimal cost, and so we're going to be able to have more students accessing the pool throughout the summer months due to trying to work together with the town and give Norton more opportunities over there. So I was happy we were able to work that out. And Mr. Farrell's going to work with with Courtney and Ben to in their program to make sure that everything's accessible and being used safely and supervised and all that other stuff. So we're looking forward to that opportunity. So now on to my superintendent's report that I prepared. First of all, I want to thank, but also recognize all the moms on the Board of Education, all the mothers, and also the mothers in the audience. And thank you for all you do to support your children through all the trials and tribulations of life, and to model great behavior and responsible citizenship, and just being a loving parent and taking care of all the needs of your children. So the importance of good mothers can't be understated or overstated. So I want to just say Happy Mother's Day to all of our moms, or aunts who act like moms, or all the people out there who have a motherhood figure or role, I should say, in society. The next item on the agenda is related to the waiver of the Board of Education Learning Through Service. It's part of your board packet. Board of Education's Learning Through Service graduation requirement for the class of 2021. Last year, Mr. Johnson, Principal Johnson, requested that the Board of Education waive the Learning Through Service requirement due to the limited opportunities for which students could get their Learning Through Service hours by volunteering because of all the COVID restrictions and closures. He has requested, based on insight from working with the students on a regular basis and knowing the opportunities out there, he's requested the same waiver of that requirement for graduation this year. So it's on the agenda for approval. I don't know if there were any questions about that, but I'm happy to address those. Mr. Johnson's here as well. But we just thought it wouldn't be fair to require that when there's so many limitations. So you'll have that as part of your approval items later. The next item on the agenda is the Innovation in Education Grant Award. This is an account that was established using grant funds that are held by Community Foundation of Greater New Britain, and there's a certain amount of funding each year that's available to our district to give out for an innovation grant. We have a committee. We typically meet more often than we have this year, but nonetheless, there are $830 that were available for grant applicants to apply for innovation related grants for innovations in how they teach or supply, provide services for the district and the schools. We had 3 applicants this year, and it was a very tough process because when we asked for insight from the members of the committee, which is how we select the awards, I almost had to set up a spreadsheet. I almost had to employ the services of Sam Adlerstein, my spreadsheet whiz. But we had 3 really good applicants. So the first one was related, and I won't read each of them to you, but the first one was related to a student-based, student-run courtyard greenhouse and garden project at Linden of gardening and planting and taking care of the gardens in a nice courtyard they already have, using our students to do the work and working in partnership with Jennifer Shea, who's a friend of our high school, wife of Coach Shea, but Patrick Quinn Architects, and providing suggestions and a schematic design for the gardens and plantings in that area. So really beautifying that area and adding more plants and whatnot. So they were requesting $500. And then we had a proposal from John Gerard, who's a science teacher here at the high school, looking for a CPR and AED training program for students. That it would require the purchase of CPR mannequins and AED trainer. That request was $748.98. Basically, Mr. Gerard's a Red Cross trainer for CPR, AED, and first aid, and he's going to be offering training classes to any students in PHS who may need certification for lifeguarding or babysitting jobs. He's also going to use the CPR mannequins and AED trainer to introduce CPR and AED in his anatomy and physiology course that he teaches in the cardiovascular unit. So kind of a multi-purpose project. The final request came from John Serwinski, and some of the board members were part of the Shark Tank experience we hosted for a greenhouse proposal for the high school. It's rather exciting, and we had a very nice job by the students who presented. About 3 different groups who presented greenhouse proposals for the high school that would be constructed in the back of the high school for a number of vegetables and plants that would be then, some would be used in the culinary, some could be used as, for fundraisers, things like that, but also for the students from around the district to come and learn about how things grow and all that there is to learn in a greenhouse with gardening and horticulture and the students did all of the research, with the support of Mr. Serwinski. So it's quite an exciting project. There's a lot here that was explained, but that's a larger project. So what I did want to share is that since these applications were received, Mr. Serwinski did find out that he received a $10,000 grant from the Pettit Family Foundation toward that project. So we're really excited about that. And I know he's applied for, I believe, the Elizabeth Norton Trust grant as well, and some other grants, or he's planning on it. So we're excited about that project, and I'm going to be meeting with him this week to talk about the feedback from the presentation in that Shark Tank format. We were a lot nicer, though, than Shark Tank, but they did a great job. So based on these 3 projects and from the feedback that was mixed, but I was able to kind of discern a winner, and we're going to split the funds. We also found out that Christina Kiley and Suzanne Nord, who proposed, I didn't tell you who proposed it, who proposed the gardening project at Linden, were also granted an award from the Pettit Family Foundation. I don't know that amount yet, but it may be the whole $500, but they said they could still use some funds. So what I would like to do, if the members of this board who are on the committee would approve, is a split to provide the entire amount to Mr. Gerard. They had received several, I kind of had everybody ranked first, second, and third. So Mr. Gerard's had received a few first place and some second place recommendations. So my proposal would be that Mr. Gerard's CPR and AED and that training project would receive the full funding of $748.88, and then the remainder would go to the gardening project for the Linden gardening project at Linden. If that sounds reasonable, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble speaking tonight, which is unusual.
A long night.
Yeah, yeah. So that would be my proposal based on the feedback and based on the other information that came in about other scholarships that have been since received. So, or grants, I should say, not scholarships.
And that will also be under new business when we get there?
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Back to my notes, we're much safer. So, I know this was in my recent newsletter, and I know you've heard a lot about it from your school principals and from my messages, but we have with us tonight our two newest principals to officially be approved tonight, unless the Board of Ed has a big change of heart. I don't think that'll happen. After a very significant process, and I want to thank Mr. Lewandowski, Mrs. Graham Douglas, and Mrs. Corniel, Lily Corniel, Vicky Trzynski, Stacy Buden, and Carl Johnson, the guy that's behind the podium. For one time in my life, I can't see Carl. He's hiding behind the podium. So that was the steering committee that led a search process that involved over 30 candidates for each position. And people think I'm cruel and heartless for opening it up to outside candidates, and we have amazing internal candidates, and the two that were unanimously approved ultimately through the process. But my reasoning for it, other than just being a cruel person, which I'm really not, we really wanted to show everyone who, there were surveys that were conducted throughout the community, through the stakeholders. I can't tell you how many letters I received endorsing both of you. But aside from all of that, a very thorough process to really look at, who's out there, the skills and qualities and talents they have, their fit with our community, and who would be the very best fit for our schools. And both of you with your extensive experience in the district, Alicia across a few roles, currently with your math science leadership across the district, elementary schools, and then Amy as assistant principal of the middle school Plainville for many years, and your science teaching background. But I won't go into your whole resume because we could be here a long time. But after a series of 5 interviews, counting the screening and then the I guess the speed round, we should call it, and then the 2 formal interviews, and then I guess it was 4 interviews. Then the Board of Education and performance task. So it was a lengthy process. I think you'd probably both agree. I see heads nodding. But ultimately, it became obvious that you were the best fit. When we put you against the best that was out there, you had all the skills, attributes, qualities, talent, and dedication, and loyalty, and love of Plainville that we're looking for in those 2 leadership positions to really fill almost impossible shoes to fill. But I know they'll be filled in a different way, and you'll use your own shoes. So, replacing Matt Carino and of course Lynn LeGoik. You may need to take some comedy lessons over the summer, Alicia. I'm not sure how good you are with the stand-up comedy, but anyway, I want to congratulate you both on your new principal roles. I hope. We'll see what the board decides with the formal approval, but it it was I know, I'm fresh. It was a unanimous decision for each of you, so congratulations. Congratulations. I'm going to get myself in trouble. All right. So moving on to the next item is, May 12th is Florence Nightingale's birthday, I guess, and it's National School Nurse Day. Of course, I've bragged about my sister who's a school nurse in another state, but I sent a message thanking all of our school nurses this year. Julie Samard is our head school nurse, who's the head COVID compliance liaison, has done an incredible job. We honored her at the last board meeting as a portrait pioneer, along with Stacy Buden, our HR director. But Julie and the team of nurses have really stepped up and gone above and beyond to answer the call of need related to COVID, and all the calling and all the contact tracing calls and difficult conversations, and really educating parents through the hard conversations they had to have when, you know, sometimes at the most unfortunate time, and you have to call and quarantine someone based on a close contact and the rules that we're required to follow. Really difficult. So, you know, I can't thank our school nurses enough. It's a very difficult job on a regular day and a regular year. You never know what's going to come your direction. And they handle it with grace and wisdom and care. So I just want to thank our school nurses and all of our employees, because we had, it was National Teacher Appreciation Week last week. I know we had a lot of celebrations and of our teachers and our educators. It was National Principal Day not long ago, and you know, we had Paraprofessional Day a short time ago. So, you know, everyone has their day, I guess. I haven't seen a National Superintendent Day, but that's all right. Who's counting? So, you know, in our National Office Professionals Day was a couple weeks ago. I managed to stay out of trouble with Miss Calistro, so that was good. You don't want to get them mad at you. You're in big trouble. So, no, they do a great job. So I just want to acknowledge all of our professional staff, but especially this week because it's National Nurses Day on the 12th. I want to thank all of our school nurses for their hard work and dedication. I do want to say that I'm pleased that the budget vote passed. You know, I know we put a lot of work into really informing our community on the town side and the Board of Education side about everything that went into the process and about where every dollar was budgeted and why. And I think that all those steps and all those presentations, they do pay off. In some ways too much, because a lot of times I think voters are so confident in what they're getting that a lot of times they don't show up to vote. You know, we had a very small turnout with about 500 people showing up, but a very strong supportive budget for the people that did show up. You know, almost 80% or over 80% in some categories of you know, supporting the Board of Education budget and the town budget. So, you know, it was a successful and a positive process that led to the outcomes we need to move forward with the district. Combined with, so now we'll operationalize that budget now that it has passed, and I know the town council will be setting the mill rate later on when revenues and some other things are a little more clear as the state budget continues to be to come together. And on top of that, the Essa grant updates, just really quickly, because I know I've talked about grants a lot, but I attended the superintendent-only meeting. I snuck a couple of people in with me today, but it was just a superintendent-only link, and I had Mr. Adlerstein and Mr. Lewandowski join me in my office to hear what was said. And, you know, the American Rescue Plan, ARP, which they're calling ESSER 3, you know, we're set to receive close to $3.5 million, about 3.4 some odd million dollars, and there's a 20% holdback for learning loss recovery. And there's a whole lot of rules and requirements and you know, details that have to be taken into careful consideration and account. And along with this, all of our project planning for ESSER 1 and ESSER 2, you know, I want to thank our team, you know, and Sam brings a certain knowledge about project management and process, that we're trying to make sure that we're really using every dollar in the best way that we possibly can to support recovery, acceleration of learning, providing really unique and exciting opportunities for kids across the district at every level, from pre-K, universal pre-K for the district, all the way up through high school graduation. And we're rethinking a lot of things, but we're making sure that we're doing the things that we have in place well. So there's a lot of work that's being done over the summer, a lot of grant-funded work this summer, and that we applied for an after-school grant program for next year for every day in partnership with the Y. So there are many resources out there, but we just have to be careful that we're not putting ourselves in a position where we are expanding our personnel to the point where we won't be able to sustain that once all the grant funds go away. So we're really thinking about each dollar we're spending and each plan and project we're planning very carefully, and with a lot of people involved, the right people involved. So I guess that's enough about the grants for now. There'll be more updates as we go. I'm getting close here, I promise. Vaccination clinic updates. I've been very fortunate to have a really good relationship. I want to thank Julie Samard for forging that relationship originally, but then I've become, a good ally with Griffin Health and with Rick Daigle, who's been tremendous to work with, and we've been able to continually expand our vaccination clinic options. We vaccinated all staff who wanted to be vaccinated. Before the first day of the April vacation, everybody was fully vaccinated who were at the clinic, and then we were able to open it up to students from the 16 and 17-year-old group. We had about 125 individuals take advantage of that, students, their parents in the household. And then I just sent out a survey to find out how many 12 to 15-year-olds, because it was just approved today. We were anticipating approval, so we're preparing for it. And we have over 120 who are interested in getting their first dose when the 16 and 17-year-olds get their second dose on May 17th. So then we'll have to have another clinic for their second dose for the 12 to 15-year-olds. But and I think we'll have more people. I'll send it out one more time tomorrow, and then we'll be sending out the sign-up registration links. But really good opportunities in a very comfortable environment, a familiar environment, not going to a mega site. I unfortunately had to miss a second vaccination shot, and I had to go to a site in another town. It wasn't the same experience. So I think we did a really good job with our clinic, and I'm proud of our staff. And I thank Griffin for their partnership. This is exciting. So I met with Chris Farrell and Christina Kiley regarding our unified sports programs. In the past, we've had basketball, unified sports for basketball as a winter sport, and that's pretty much been it. And a lot of other districts have 3 seasons of sports where they have different sports during each of the 3 seasons, like all the athletic seasons. And for a very minimal financial impact, we're going to be able to expand our unified sports opportunities for all 3 seasons, offering 2 sports per season. It's the stipends fall underneath the activity stipends, so they're not coaching stipends, which are more significant. But this will open up opportunities and options for more students throughout the entire year. And CIAC does a tremendous job. CIAC does a tremendous job of really working with students with disabilities and their mentor athletes, and really celebrating all the opportunities to get involved and to participate in athletics. And we've run the middle school track and field event here for many years in the spring, but we haven't had a Plainville team. So I want to thank Chris Farrell and Christina Kiley for their vision for this and their dedication to it. And with other stipends for clubs that haven't been run, it's almost a cost neutral activity. We'll reduce one winter sport because it was all emphasis on basketball. So it's a really exciting opportunity. So it's something we'll expand for next school year. So I wanted to share that based on the discussion we had. I think it's a great opportunity for the district, and I'm hoping that everyone agrees. And this is the last. And Sam, Mr. Edelstein, you may want to help with this one, but there's a food service informational item I wanted to share with you about. During the month of April, we made an accounting change to our food service reporting. Under our new system, payments are recorded in student accounts, and revenue is only recognized after a student makes a food purchase. This was not differentiated in the past. The change required $29,654 to be reclassified from revenues to student balances. Mr. Edelstein, I don't know if you could add any insight or detail to that, because I know you work. Mr. Edelstein oversees the food services department, and I know it was a good decision. If you could add any more information.
Yeah, it's timely just because so much is going on now. We might as well do one more thing, something we want to do for a long time. But if a student puts money into their account, we won't recognize that as a sale. In the past, we recognized that as a sale, even though it was still sitting in their My School Bucks account. So it just better aligns those sales with the way it actually happens.
Good. Anyone have questions for Sam? All right. I know Ashley has been working really hard to, make our food service program the very best it can be, and in cooperation, partnership with Sam. And it was also National Food Service Professionals Day this past week too. Friday. So I forget about them. I'm sorry. And we didn't forget about them on that day, but so I want to thank them for all their above and beyond, incredible work they've done for the past 15 months, serving meals anywhere and everywhere they could. So really tremendous. So I know this is a step in the right direction, and this has been fully considered by Sam and Ashley and their team, so thank you. And finally, I want to recognize at the board meeting I was given the Memorial Day essay contest winners, and I know the essays are read on Memorial Day at a ceremony. These students took the time to support our veterans and submitted an essay to be judged by their school's leadership and staff. Essays are, as I said, going to be read on Memorial Day as a tribute to the true meaning behind and reason for Memorial Day. So I'd like to congratulate from the middle school 7th grader, Sadie Braun, from Linden Elementary School, Elisa Lopez, from Toflon Elementary School, 5th grader, Madeline Davenport, and from Wheeler Elementary School, Elena Rexinger McConnell. So congratulations to all of our they're excellent. I read them and very meaningful, and I appreciate the time they put into writing those essays. And I believe that, did you know that? Congratulations. So that concludes my lengthy report.
All right.
Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for the superintendent? Can you think of anything he didn't tell us?
Oh, the unified teams are going to be soccer and kickball for the fall, and then basketball and bowling for the winter, and then volleyball and track and field for the spring. I meant to share that. Exciting
Thank you.
stuff.
Thank you. Seriously, any questions? Okay. That brings us to our subcommittee reports, and the very first one is our student representative report. Before we let Katie and Garrett take at it, I'd like to just congratulate Katie for all her recognitions this evening. Obviously, she's been busy besides being here with us, so congratulations. So take it away.
Thank you very much for your congratulations. It means a lot, and I'm glad I was able to experience everything I have with you guys this year. I just wanted to say that really quickly. So moving on to the report, students have a lot to look forward to in the following weeks, especially seniors with the prom, picnic, and various other celebratory events. Many are excited to be able to commemorate their achievements and time in high school after all the obstacles that we have faced this past year due to COVID-19. It is due to this, as well as the warming weather and modification of pandemic restrictions in the state, that the tone at PHS has become more positive and energetic. Of course, classes are carrying on as per usual, with a few even preparing for AP exams, several of which were administered last week. So in summary, students have maintained a focused attitude while waiting in anticipation for the festivities to come and eventual end to the academic year.
Thank you, Catherine, and congratulations on all your awards. So if we look back, the superintendent's showcase was on April 22nd. That was very successful. The first student vaccine clinic was on April 26th at the PHS Wood Gym, administered by Griffin Health. The all-day budget vote was on April 27th at the Plainville Firehouse. And then the students at PHS successfully took their SAT makeups on April 28th. Currently, AP exams are taking place throughout the month of May for juniors and seniors for any AP classes that they're taking. Spring sports are in full effect after all teams participated in the first games of the season last month. And then if we look ahead, the second vaccine clinic for students is on May 17th to be held in the PHS Wood Gym. And then we have some concerts. The PHS band concert will take place on May 19th in the Wood Gym after some COVID restrictions have loosened up for larger gatherings. And then the PHS Jazz Band concert is on May 26th, and then the PHS Talent Show is later that night. And then we have various events for the class of 2021. Seniors are having their prom, Night of Excellence, class night, senior picnic, and then their graduation on June 10th. And then lastly, the students at PHS, other than seniors, will have their class celebrations for the last week at PHS, and then the 8th graders will be visiting PHS on June 11th, and that concludes the student report.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the students They're right there. You can ask them anything. They'll probably answer truthfully, too, I think, even though Mr. Johnson is hiding behind this podium here. Facilities and Finance, we did not meet, but I think we have a pending meeting.
Yeah, that meeting is coming up on the 19th
Okay,
of Finance and Facilities.
all right, thank you. And the Policy Subcommittee, Ms. St. Lawrence?
Yep, we met, the policy subcommittee met on Tuesday, May 4th, virtually. We went over 3 policies. So we went over policy number 6171, special education. Do we discuss this now, or do you want me to?
However you want to
Okay.
do it. You could wait till we get to the agenda, where it's on the agenda as well.
Okay, so, and then we discussed policy number 4440, drug and alcohol testing for school bus drivers, which wasn't a revision, that was a new policy. And then we have policy number 6172.5, which is parent and family engagement policy for Title I students, and that was a revision. And they are under our new business for first reading.
Thank you very much. Curriculum Subcommittee, we also met. Ms. Wells, you have?
So the curriculum committee met on Monday, May 3rd, and it was very pleasurable. I really was excited about the things that are going to be happening in middle school language arts. I think the gist of it was more inclusivity, more choice. I remember being in middle school language arts, and you got the list of books you were reading that year, and whether you liked them or not, or whether you were able to read them or not. It was too bad, so sad, this is what's happening. That doesn't appear to be happening anymore in middle school language arts. The kids are gonna have a lot more choice in the types of books they read, the subjects that they read. And they had the kids on video talking about it, and they were really excited about it, so I think it's gonna be a good thing.
Thank you. We did not have outreach, and that brings us to the high school PAC. Mr. White.
Yes, the last meeting of the high school PAC was on March 11th, so that was, those procedures reported at the last meeting. Their next meeting is this week on the 12th, but also, just a little late political announcement, the PAC is also seeking people to adopt a senior. So I have the information here. It's $20 to adopt 1 senior, $40 to adopt 2 seniors. And those contributions do go to support all the goodies that they prepare to give out to the students that are graduating in lieu of what they would normally have been gotten. This is done in cooperation with Project RAD. Instead of being the Project RAD, so this is follow through of what was done last year when they went out and gave all the caps and gowns to the students. So if anyone is interested in adopting a senior, I have the information right here.
All right, thank you. Taflon, I know Ms. Martinez wasn't able to be with us today. Is there anything, Alicia, that you want to talk about for Taflon?
Still under Lynn for now, but no.
Lynn's still there. She's showing up every day, and okay, good. You let us know if anything happens, because we know where she lives. So that takes us to Linden PTO, and that is Kathy.
So the next Linden PTO meeting will be on May 12th. Again, they meet at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m., and it's virtual, and you can get the link on Linden's Facebook page. They are going to be looking for nominations for president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary, and they can be emailed to lindenpto@plainvilleschools.org. In particular, they are looking for the next vice president and secretary, as well as a fundraising coordinator, a volunteer coordinator, and a book fair coordinator, and a yearbook coordinator. You can nominate yourself. Several of the current board members and regular volunteers have graduating children this year, and parents and students are moving on to MSP. So the Linden PTO is in need of new volunteers. All the fundraising has recently come to an end, and the funds will be put to good use in supporting Linden's end-of-the-year activities.
All right. That brings us to the middle school and Ms. St. Lawrence.
Yep, the MSP PTC met virtually on Tuesday, May 11th. had a very successful, like, I don't remember, what is it, the candy, they had a successful chocolate sale, so they thank everyone who purchased. They also had a successful Chick-fil-A fundraiser recently that they thanked everyone for coming out to. And they will meet again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. virtually.
All right, thank you. And we have Wheeler Elementary School, Ms. Palmieri.
So I was a bad board member and I forgot to get my report.
Oh, well, we will forgive you, just this time. The CRIC Council, I did attend the CRIC Council, but it was now a long time ago, and most of our discussion was about the legislative issues going on related to things that have now been resolved, so it's a little late. Chairperson's report, I just wanted to say, you know, coming in today and having students here and a lot of students and everything, that was just, it really felt good. It felt really good to have community members here and be able to celebrate the things that kids have been doing all year and be able to celebrate the district. So that was really nice. I'd like to congratulate Alicia and Amy. They're over there. And you know, it always is really good for us to know that, you know, the Plainville staff shine through no matter what we put them up against, and they're really the, you know, champions for us for our buildings, and we really appreciate having folks that, you know, spend their time here and want to stay here and who we feel so confident in. So we thank you. I think that's it. I don't have much to say. Unfinished business, we don't have any. New business, our board open forum. Is there anything that anyone would like to say for the good of the order? No? Yes?
I just want to congratulate our new principals. We're very excited to have you.
Thank you. We do not have a special education cost report this month. Turf committee, though. Mr. Adlerstein, is that you? It is you.
So we do the turf committee report twice a year, and we're pleased that the fields are now open, and we met with the partners organizations either last week or the week before. Time flies. And what we've been doing is we meet with the partners organizations. We have a partner agreement that we step through. And it's really just so that we're all following the same rules. A lot of it's around scheduling. And the other thing that's happened since the last time I reported is we had our fields assessed. We had a professional company come out, assess the fields, do some repairs, repairing seams, repairing the softball field, and retraining our personnel to make sure that we're keeping the field up and protecting our investment the best we possibly can. And that entails making sure that the fields are groomed on a monthly basis. It's about a 2-hour maintenance effort every month. And so it's with cooperation with the town. And we want to just make sure we keep our fields in the best condition possible. The other thing on this one-page report that's in your packet is the balance in the turf fund is $93,130. That comes from a number of sources, including dues from the folks who use the fields. We would have had backers sign rentals this year, but that was postponed because of COVID. I think that's next year. Those sign rentals will be renewed. And that's it. Questions?
Any questions on the turf report? All right, thank you. You know, I know I did read that report and appreciate that we're going to keep up with it and know what's happening. So, because eventually there is a costly thing at the end there, so we want to make sure that we keep our eye on that ball. Okay, so we're at the request for approval of the waiver for the Board of Education Learning Through Service graduation requirement that Mr. LePage spoke of earlier. So what I'm going to do is ask if somebody would make a motion in a second, and then we'll see if we have any questions or further information. So can I have a motion? Mr. White's the only one that can make motions, apparently.
Madam Chair, I request that we approve the waiver of learning through service for the graduation requirement for the class of 2021.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Davenport, thank you. All right. Any questions or comments on this? I know we did do the same thing last year because we were pretty much in the same situation, and this is not something to take lightly because this is a Board of Education graduation requirement, and we're saying that we're waiving it. So I just want to make sure that we all understand that, but I also don't know what the options would be. So, all right. Yep.
Did anyone fulfill the requirement?
Oh, I'm sure.
There he is.
I couldn't let you be left out the whole
You
night.
can't
Come on.
hide forever behind that.
I'm gonna extend this thing. No, we've had quite a few students who have met the requirement. One of the things we did was we encouraged students even to help out with their families, and we honored those hours. But we have had, we've encountered some students who are just having a very hard time doing it. So we just want to make sure. But we have, I think as of last count, we have about 60 or 70% of the class who have. So.
In the past, we've had several students that have gone way over that requirement, and they have been recognized. Is that going to, I'm assuming hopefully this will take place again this year.
Yes, we still have, we have students who've gone significantly over the hours as well. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Now he's going to sit down. We won't find him again. He's behind that podium. All right. Any other questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. And the next thing we have is the request for approval of the Innovation and Education Grant. Also, what Mr. LePage had explained in his report, and I believe this was, is it Mr. Gerard that the funding is going to for the greenhouse? Greenhouses? No?
CPR.
CPR, darn it. Okay.
CPR
Yeah,
first aid
CPR and
course.
AED.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that now. So if I can get a motion and a second?
And then the remainder to go to.
Madam Chairman, I move that we approve the award of $748.98 to the project CPR AED training, and also the balance of that $830 would be awarded to the project for the gardens at the Linden Street School.
All right. Second by Crystal. Any questions or comments on this one? Right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That brings us to the request for approval of the Connecticut Institute of the Blind rental agreement. And Mr. Adlerstein, you want to just take us through this again? I know this is an annual thing.
It is, it's an annual thing. The Connecticut Institute of Blind, Oak Hill, rents space at the middle school. I have here this, it's about 91,000 square feet at the middle school, and we each year just do a 2% increase pretty much year in, year out. I've contacted them or tried to reach out to them. They've had personnel turnover, so I haven't heard back from them. I have no reason to believe they wouldn't renew this, and so I'll keep after them, but we'd like you to authorize me to move forward with them and renew the agreement for 1 year.
So can we get a motion on this one? This just makes it very easy for Joan. I think it's all being done so that Joan only has to write that Foster does all the motions.
Madam Chairman, I request that we approve the agreement with the Connecticut Institution for the Blind rental agreement for the period September 1st, 2021 to August 31st, 2022.
All right. And the second by Nicole. Any questions? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The next part, this is a real tough one now. This is that tough one that Mr. LePage referred to. We are looking to request the approval of the new Louis Tofflon principal appointment of Alicia Ariado. Alicia Ariado.
Right there.
Just you, Alicia, that's all I'm gonna say. Principal Alicia. We need a motion. That's what we need.
Madam Chairman, I happily request the approval of Alicia Arado as the principal of the Louis Tofflon School, principal.
Motion second by Mr. Davenport. Any questions or conversation or anything? Other than congratulations? All right, so all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Absolutely. All right, thank you. Beautiful. And next,
Madam Chairman, I am really honored to ask the approval of Amy Roberts as the new principal of the middle school of Plainville.
Second.
and a second by Nicole. Any question, any comments or anything? So, of course, when it's Amy Roberts, you don't make me say, you know, that you don't let me have me try and say. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you very much and congratulations, ladies. Right, thank you. Now, we're in our policy. So the first policy item is the Special Education Policy 6171. And let's get a motion in a second, and then maybe Crystal might want to speak on it. Foster, you got to make the motion.
Okay. Do you want to take, because we should be just approving these for
First
first reading? And
You
then,
could do them as a group if you want.
So we could actually request approval for first reading of the Instructional Special Education Policy Number 6171, approval for the first reading of Personnel Drug and Alcohol Testing for School Bus Drivers, Policy Number 4440, which is a new policy, and also request the first reading for approval of Instruction, Parent, and Family Engagement. For Title I students at Policy 6172.5, which is a revision. So I would move that they be approved for first reading.
Okay. Do we have a second? Second by Deb. Is there anything that Dave wants to add, Crystal wants to add, anything particular? Okay, awesome. I think we're good. All right. So all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. First reading. That takes us to our consent agenda, and as long as there's nothing to be removed off of there, I'll ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Madam Chairman, I request that we approve the consent agenda as presented in our packet.
All right, thank you. Is there a second? Second by Deb. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and our most favorite.
Motion to adjourn.
Nicole got the motion to adjourn. Who would like to make a second? Second. Second by Brent. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to that one? No, I don't think so. Thank you all very much. Congratulations.